Hello everybody, welcome back to the single player world. We are currently standing on top of the mob farm, the giant mob farm. If you guys are not aware of how big this mob farm is, I'll show you just how big this thing is. Look at this. It's absolutely massive. And we have not finished it yet. So today what I want to do is I want to get this thing at least semi-functional, because right now I guess I could call it functional by the fact that I can manually do things, but there's a lot of work that it still needs. What is that block doing over there? I've never noticed that block in my life. I know what it is. It's been pushed out. Never mind. I know what's going on there. So, this mob farm has been made, not by me, well, it's been made by me, but designed by Ilmango. Of course, there will be a link in the description for you guys to check it out. And I said I wanted to do all the redstone here myself, but I've tried many times, and it's just become a real headache. So, I think I'm going to leave it up to the experts. And right now, I think we're going to make this area here look absolutely ridiculous. And there it is. Alright guys, so this is, as you can see, exceptionally simple redstone. I mean, you could do it in a few minutes, you know? Very simple stuff. How did I ever think I was going to do this? Really, how did I ever think that this was going to be something I was going to do? Even though I wasn't planning to do it like this way, but man, there's a lot of stuff involved in this. Alright, so as I say, if you guys are building this farm, and you guys can check out Ilmango's video. There will be a link in the description. It is an absolutely insane farm. And the redstone's actually pretty easy to follow along with as well. Not right now, but if you have a look at it, it's very simple to follow along. The type of stuff is happening is not simple, but the stuff he shows is simple. So, pretty much, that is done. This farm is now done, besides having storage below it. And we're going to sort that out, actually, temporarily. Right now, but oh, where's my axe? Perfect. Too quick on the trigger. There we go, perfect. So now this is going to be the moment we test it out. So I've had this thing on and off, like switching this thing on and off just to get the water right. So we have got a few drops down the bottom. When we do that, we should see this thing switch on. Now, what I'm hoping, well, a whole bunch of stuff happens there. I'm hoping that all works, but I'm fairly certain I followed along properly there. You can see things falling down there. Okay, that's perfect. So it is switching off and on. That is working as well. That is great. That is the one thing that I was worried about. That the water down the bottom there wasn't going to work. And look at that. Look at that signal go down there. Bam. Switch that on. And we should see... Oh, so that switches it off. Okay. Yeah, that's looking really good. I think we finally got this fixed. And by the way, guys, there's a reason for this. A very important reason. Because today... that water that was stuck there was just a little bit of a visual glitch. Okay, so today we are going to go ahead and start off a little bit of, well, not start off, but finish off another big redstone project, which isn't quite as complicated as this. It shouldn't be. And that is going to be the flower farm. And the reason we need the flower farm is because, well, we need this for the flower farm, is because I need bone meal. Man, I cannot throw these ender pearls for the life of me today. Right, should be over there. That should be a perfect ender pearl throw. Mark my words. No, don't mark my words. Bam, we're up. Okay, so here we go. This is the ideal spot to sit in the farm here, right in the middle of the farm, a couple blocks up. And coincidentally, well, not coincidentally, not much of a coincidence, but what I'm actually about to do is I'm actually about to go out for today. So I'm going to be gone for a couple of hours. And I thought this would be a good time for me to build up a bunch of gunpowder, a bunch of bone blocks, and, well, bones, 4 bone blocks, and most importantly, the bone meal. And we'll see what we come up to in the end. So I'm going to put a nether portal over here. This should actually connect up to where it was before. And the most important thing is, as I say, we can see how efficient this farm is. So let me do that there, and one of those. There, and there. And as I say, we need a bunch of bone, like a bunch of bone meal for this farm. So this hopefully will work, and I also need to put in, gosh, I forgot to put in my flint and steel, did I not? Okay, well, this should work. And I'll give you guys an update on how long I've been gone and how much stuff we have by the end of it. Alright, I'm back, and we've been AFKing here for about 6 or 7 hours now, and you can see there's a slight issue with this nether portal with the fact that these pigmen are spawning. I'm not too sure whether or not that actually affects the mob cap over here. I'm not too sure. Maybe pigmen don't actually affect it. So this farm is still running. You can see, should see some water all of a sudden pop on. There you go, there's the water there. And what I didn't mention is that after that last clip, I still had to put in a bit of storage, of course, for this to work. And I've gone down here, and I want to see, this is the moment of truth, because I'm fairly confident that we're going to have what we need. But let's check just how crazy it is. So it goes all the way from there. We've got a hopper right around there. You can see there's a hopper, chest, and it's just got a hopper chain all the way down to there. And let's go all the way to the bottom. Let's check what we got. We got 1, 2. Let me just start skipping. Okay, this could be a bit ridiculous. I think we're going to see... Oh, no, let's not start this again. There we go. Let's just do that. All right, let's check up here. So we went kind of halfway up there. Okay, that one's full. Yeah, this is about to get ridiculous, is it not? I feel like we're about to see a ridiculous amount of stuff. All right, so go up here. Let's check this out. Okay, let's check up. Did that just change? I think I just... Okay, so that's where it's at right there. So we didn't quite fill everything up, but I think we're not going to have any trouble for bones, for gunpowder, for zombie flesh, for string in a very long time. In fact, even glowstone. Man, this farm is absolutely insane. I want to go see how many bone blocks we have. What's in this? It's nothing. Actually, let me just get rid of this junk. Let me just put it all... Okay, let me not put it in there. Alright, I'm actually going to go and gather up all of the bones, because I want to put them in this system over here. See if we can get our bone system sorted out. So I think I'm going to quickly gather up the bones. That's a very important thing. I need to actually just get some chests in here. Alright, chests going, and I'll meet you guys there. Okay, we are back at the flower farm, and let me tell you, this is actually the day after yesterday, because yesterday was the day I did the mob farm thing, and I was actually planning on doing this episode then, but we ran into a very slight problem, and this is a problem which I'm sure we've all had, where you fall into lava, and you know what the worst problem is? When it's not even your fault. So I'll quickly tell you what happened, right? I've come over from the mob farm directly after I finished that last clip. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get this project done. I'm going to come in here, super pumped, super ready to keep going. And I have to quickly run back to the main base. So I just step in this nether portal, go through, and I tabbed out of Minecraft for a second. And all of a sudden I heard myself taking damage. So I quickly tab back in. And all I notice is that I'm under lava. Like, you can see there's lava everywhere. And then I get the message, Jansey tried to swim in lava. It was absolutely terrible, and I do not know how because all I did was I went into this, and I can't find any way that I could have been bumped off into lava. There's lava below here, like right below there. That's the lava that I'm assuming I fell into. But I didn't know which lava I fell into, how I got there, but it was terrible, and it was scary, and very, very annoying, but we've got through it. We've managed to do a lot of, because I lost everything, right, guys? I lost absolutely everything, and that's why I couldn't continue on with this episode, because I had none of my equipment, none of my armor, none of my elytra was gone. So, coincidentally, we had a stream today, which was our planned stream, and I've gone through, we went for about 2 hours getting everything back. We've got boots, better boots than before, I think. We've got fire protection on these things. Make sure we've got that protection, because I think if we had fire protection, we may have been able to get out of some stuff. We've also got over here, we're going to actually change these to fire protection ones as well, because that's the only thing I can't protect myself from if I fall into it. We've got our elytra working again, and by the way, guys, I got a villager for 22 emeralds for a mending book now, so we're improving. And this, of course. But the biggest change is one of the many people notice that my sword's name is Fluffy. But now we've got the upgraded version of Fluffy. So Fluffy the sword. These are what we've got now. We've made some improvements. Because this sword's actually a pretty much perfect sword. Besides the fact it doesn't have any flame on it. The only reason I would want flame is for when these mobs are going to destroy me. Okay, how about we turn that off? The only reason I want flame on it is purely because I like to kill sheep and cows and get the meat cooked. But besides that, it's really kind of annoying when killing endermen. So that works very, very well. Now we can get into the episode, guys, because I wanted to start this episode so much yesterday, and I wanted to get these jobs done. I was going very well on the mob farm. I got that done. I wanted to get through this done. This episode's an episode of we're getting things done, you know? We're finishing off things. And one thing I wanted to do was this system over here, getting all the bone meal pumping through here, and that is what we needed to finish off the mob farm. So I need to get that, and I want to get those as well, because I noticed I switched this farm on the other day just to test some things out, and I had a bunch of, well, not much. I had about 5 seeds stuck in this final hopper over here. And I should have some stuff there that just from me breaking things. And that is a little bit of an issue because occasionally they fall in here, but it's not too big of a trouble. It won't clog up the system. All that'll happen is it'll just be one time where this farm doesn't function as well as it should. So this dropper facing up. Perfect. That's, I think, gonna work. We're gonna test that out right now. Let me just cover this up before I destroy all my redstone with the water. And then I'm going to go and edit pull out there. So by the way, these all face in here. I've shown you guys this before. Perfect. No, not perfect. I'm stuck under there. All right. So then what happens is, basically, let me explain to you what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get all of the bone meal that we're going to feed into these hoppers to fill up everything. So it's going to fill up this. It's going to fill up all the way here. It's going to fill up all of these. Because we've got enough bone meal now. We've got enough bones for days. We've got so many bones. And I think once it fills up all the way there, we'll just continuously have this full, and we'll just keep the bones coming. And I can still put this into the roof as well. Remember that. So we've got a lot of space to work here, and I'm actually going to have to do some changes and put a wall to hide this. And by the way, I wanted to do one last thing here, which I forgot about. Okay, I think that went in there. That's all right. That's all right. So we'll do that there, and we'll put in one of these on this side, and one of these on this side, just to make sure we can do everything in our power to unpower that thing. And I think one last measure would be to make these full blocks so that they actually power this block. That's probably a good idea. I'll do that later. All right, so let's get this thing started. Let's quickly put this in here, and we're going to give it its first test, I guess. So we're going to need to get an absolute bunch of bone meal. And I know you're thinking, I mean, Jansey, you've just made this bone farm. You must have a bunch of bones for bone meal. You're so right. That is so right. Let me go take a few minutes of mindless bone mealing, filling up these chests, and I'll tell you once we fill this up, because I should have this filled. Look at this. Not only that, we've still got a bunch more in that farm, by the way. Got all those. We've got so many bone blocks, bone meal. We are going to be good for the rest of the series because of that farm. Turns out that wasn't nearly enough, like, at all. I had to go back, actually, for a few trips to get a bit more bone meal, but we're good. Let me grab these. Just setting those off. By the way, this could prove to be a problem where these over here are powered, which stops this block. Not even, I thought it would only stop, if anything, the dispenser from not picking up anything, but it stops the hopper over here from getting anything, which is very, very strange. But it looks like, yeah, it's refilled itself, which is great. And by the way, that takes forever to load itself. Man, I just went through and did everything manually. So let's get this thing started. I'll just replace these last few blocks over there. Let's start off with this one over here. Let's check if this works. That works, all right? I'm pretty confident in saying that if that one works, the rest will work. Let's just check. We should see a bunch of stuff coming through here. It's already refilled. Fantastic, and look at that. That could prove to be an issue. In which case, I'll have to have a way of switching these off to refill these. But we'll have a look at that in future. Now, the big one is, does this one work? Because I've put a dropper down there, and I want to see if that does pass these things up. Okay. It's looking like it's working pretty well. One concern I have about this farm is I'm not getting any... I'm getting alliums. You can see we're getting a bunch of alliums. We're getting a bunch of poppies. The daisies as well. But the poppies and daisies aren't what I want. What I wanted were alliums, and I want oxeye daisies. I want... what are those? Azure bluettes. Specifically, I really, really wanted tulips, but for some reason, they're not spawning here. Yet this is a flower forest biome, which is so strange. Maybe there's only particular spots in flower forest biomes that this grows. So let's just do this. That stops that. Perfect. All right, let's go have a look underneath here again. We shouldn't actually have issues of this picking up anything, because this should all just be, yeah, that stuff. Great. We'll do this. Let's just do that there. All right, so how's this looking? Looking good. All right, so that hasn't been able to keep up with it. That is interesting. That is actually very interesting. All right, we'll see how this all goes. But it looks like my thought of stuff coming up here, getting pushed up immediately, is not going to be the case because of magical things happening there. All right. That guy really is not interested in me. All right. So, let's get on to the next things. Alright, so next thing, we are going to be still keeping in the spirit of having a fully functional, almost, mob farm. But, let me quickly explain to you what I want to do. This area here, if you remember in the last episode, I mentioned that I'm building some mountains out the back there. We showed you a bit of work that's been going on. And this area here needs to go, because I want to put some docks in here. So, you can see, I've kept to the spirit of the mob farm. We've got gunpowder. We got so much gunpowder. I don't know what to do with it. And I haven't even used TNT once this entire series. So I think it's about time we give this TNT a go. In fact, I'm going to start at the top here. I've done a few runs. You can see all the way through. Down here again. I've probably overdone it in some points. Maybe I've underdone it at some points. All the way down there. And I've done little poke holes like this. Here we go. Let me get rid of that. You see? Few little poke holes like that. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the top. And we're going to go and test this out. And I'm probably doing something extremely dumb. But, you know, let's just do it anyway. Hopefully we don't die. I was hoping this was going to start some chain reaction, but it looks like it isn't. Alright, and maybe I'll have to do a little bit more than this. I'll have to just go through each one and manually detonate it, but I want to see if this is quicker than me actually clearing this out, because this is going to be a big clearing out project. Get out a little bit. Okay, that kind of worked for a few of them. So it bumped these out. Oh. Get out of there. Alright. I guess this is what I'm going to have to be doing. This doesn't look like TNT is actually that useful, guys. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was going to be a little bit better than this. Maybe I just had really high expectations for it. Alright, carrying on. We're going to keep going. May as well, actually. This is still pretty good for the amount of work I've had to put in for this. It's alright. There we go. A few of them in a run. There. There. Bam. I'm probably going to die. There we go. Okay, wonderful. So, as I say, I'm just trying to find uses for this mob farm, because I've had so many things I've waited on because of this farm. You know, when it's very tempting to not do the work that you want to do in the world, waiting on something. But now that I've finally got it all achieved, like being the mob farm, we may as well go absolutely crazy with it. And as I say, that's pretty much the theme of this episode. Enjoy the mob farm. Oh, mate, we can get another run down there. Actually, I don't know where that one's from. It was a double hit there. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right. So I'm just going to keep going with this, but I thought it would be a little bit of fun, you know? A little bit of fun to use some TNT. Oh, that was a good one. That was a few runs. That was a few runs. I guess it's all dependent on where this TNT goes. But as I was busy saying there, guys, I'm just going to keep going through with this, and we'll probably get a lot of this area cleared out. Do not fear, that is not what it's going to look like when we're done. But I have gone ahead and I've cleared out the dirt. And turns out this way, despite it being exceptionally fun, don't get me wrong, this was a bunch of fun. I love playing with TNT, but I don't think I'm going to be using this as an efficient way of mining stuff out, because there's a lot of mining for me to do here. I'm going to have to set up a full haste 2 beacon and just clear this area out. It'll probably take me quicker to do it the haste 2 way than it would the TNT way, I feel. I'm pretty sure that is probably quite accurate. I've got enough dirt, man, to last me for a long time right now, but I definitely think that method is not an efficient method. What I think we can do now is, because we've done quite a bit of mob farm stuff, and I'm not going to be clearing that out today. Oh, hell no, that's not happening. That's a lot of work. So I've been thinking this whole episode, I'm like, I really want to build something, and I've got something that I've been planning on building for a while now. And now that we've started on this, it's kind of just got me going with it. And that is going to be a brand new dock. This dock isn't a huge dock. It's not very big. And I think it's going to work pretty well. But it's a different sort of dock. Let me show you what I'm thinking. Alright, so coming down here, I've got this flat piece here. Whereas the other docks have got the jetties. I would call them sticking out. These ones are just these. They're very, very simple stuff. And what I want to do is I want to make this thing a little bit more interesting than our average dock. And I want to go down around here. Right down here. Pull these up here. Man, that's a little bit annoying when these are in your offhand. Alright, perfect. So we'll go all the way up here, just to about there. We'll come back down here. Is this the right block? Yes, it is. Perfect. And I don't have respiration on this thing yet, so it's kind of hurting me a little bit, but that's alright. And by the way, what I just did there, taking that block out at the bottom, man, that's the best tip you could learn. If ever you're doing a bit of support for a structure, sure, you make sure you account for it. Right, nighttime almost. I'll just finish this off quickly. So what I'm planning on doing here is, think about this, right? We've got this village lying back there. That's the snowy village for those of you guys who are not very familiar with it. And that snowy village needs to get some supplies. Trade supplies both ways. You know, it needs supplies coming from the inside. Supplies going out. It's still a completely functional village. And what I'm thinking will be kind of cool is to have a little bit of a dock over here just to collect supplies. It's not going to be where boats are going to stop for very long. It's purely just to get things in and out of the port. Let me just get rid of this. There. All right, perfect. And the way I want to do this one, which I haven't done before, is I've always thought about it, and I was actually going to use this on the last one, but I think this one will work really, really well here. Is building a little bit of a hut in the middle. What is the reason for it? I don't actually know, to be completely honest, but I think it's going to look pretty cool when it's done. So let me just go up there. Man, can I? Oh, I made that jump. Wow, I'm actually amazed that I made it. Can I make it again? No. That was asking a little bit too much, wasn't it? Alright, so what I'm thinking with this is once I've got this built up, I also want the areas, because of course I said we're not digging out that big area, and I definitely won't be able to dig out that big area today. But that big area will eventually get dug out, and we'll have this path going from here all the way to the other area over there on the other side of the mountain, and linking up with our big mountainous path that we've got going on there. So what I want to do now is I want to get this set up. I want to have this portraying an area that is somewhat frozen. So I'm going to be putting ice around here, making a little bit of ice sticking out. A very rocky area, and I reckon it's going to turn out really, really well. But you know what? Only time's going to tell. Only time's going to tell with this one, but I want to give it a go. Here we are sitting back at this place. I think this is definitely looking pretty damn good. You know, very, very simple, but it's looking good to me. What I want to do now is, you can see I've put in this stuff here, and I want to just fix this up a little bit, while also adding in our ice shelf, which I thought would be really cool, just around these edges. I'm not even sure. You know what, this is coming from someone who lives in Australia. I really am not 100% certain how ice forms around these things, right? I'm just kind of using my imagination and going for it. So, hopefully this turns out alright. And I was just planning on putting it along these edges here where the ice kind of forms anyway. I mean, can I see it from here? Can I show you? This should be the spot. From there. You can see ice forming around there on the edges, and I want to keep that going, but obviously have our own custom ice forming around the edges. That's always better. And I'm on fly mode, am I not? Yep, I am. Okay, and then one thing I thought would be really cool is doing it this way. So you can see from underneath the ice coming along like that. Look at that. And I want to see how that looks from... Yeah, that is what we need. Look at that. The ice coming out there. Man, I'm so glad I thought about that. That is actually really, really good. So if you can pull the ice out a bit more, maybe coming out from there. Going to go through a lot of ice doing this, but that's alright. It's all going to be worth it in the end. Like that. Yeah, that'll work really, really well. I like that a lot. I really do like that, in fact. Let me get rid of this. Maybe put in the last few there. I've got 19 more. We can do the other side as well. The other side won't be as big as this, I don't think. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But I don't want it to be. So then we can go ahead and add snow. And I don't think I can put... Yeah, I can't put any snow on top of these. Of course. Of course. I didn't think I could. May as well try, though. So we'll do a bit of this, a bit of that. And then I'm also going to add in some more of these. So a bit of texturing around here, like this stuff here. A bit of these sorts of things. And I want to add it to this side, I want to add it to that side. And then we'll come back and we'll check what this is looking like. And the moment of truth right now. We're about to see what it looks like. Okay, that is pretty cool. Ignore what's going up on the sides there, because that is a whole other big job. Entirely. But we are eventually going to have those there. In fact, you know what, I say that's a big job. That probably won't take me a ridiculously long time. But picture this, right? You've got this mountain going up here. It connects out the back that way. You've got one going out here, which connects to this one. That's looking really, really good, you know? And you can see through backwards over that way. So I'll quickly give you some explanations as to what's going on. Of course, the sun is going down. We can see the horse galloping over the last bit of the sun. As it does every day. It's so poetic, really. Oh, that wasn't meant to happen. I'm far away enough now. Very far away. Okay, perfect. Let's quickly jump in the bed, and then we can show you what this looks like. That was lucky that it was actually nighttime right then. Normally, I go stand at this bed and spam it for like... What did I just pick up? I normally just spam it for ages. The one thing that I'm really, really loving, by the way, is this ice. Look at that. Just coming out the bottom here. We've even got a little bit over there. I think that's playing really, really well. It's a little bit of an extra, like, detail, you know? Adds a little bit of life to it. So, coming up here, I'm going to get rid of a bit more of the sand looking at it right now. I feel like there's a bit too much sand. That's an easy fix. Coming up here, we're going to have this path. And remember, as I say, this is all going to be gone. So, we're going to be able to walk right through that side, and we shouldn't have any trouble with that. So that's going to look really, really good. But for today, guys, I think this will do the episode, because this episode's going a lot longer than I had expected. And of course, I mean, this episode started off with quite the tragedy, but it has all come together in the end. You know, we may have lost our items, but we've got better items. So as long as we've improved, as long as we've come out the other end, which we have, I think it's always good. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.